Hi there, I'm Holly Furgason. I'm a certified Stop Pilates instructor trainer, and we're here today at my studio, Blue Sparrow Pilates in San Francisco. I'm joined today by Melissa Kennedy, who's also a certified Stop Pilates instructor trainer. We're going to get started with our chair series. So if you'll come to kneeling, we're going to start with cat. We have one heavy spring on the top and one heavy spring on the bottom. You're in a vertical position, really elongate through the spine. You're going to feel the abdominals wrapping all the way around the waist, feeling like you're almost loosening your shirt on all sides. From the back of the pelvis, you're using the glutes and the hamstrings to wrap around the pelvis. So you should feel work happening before you've even started moving. Do you feel anything working, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, great. From here, you're going to inhale to lengthen even further. Exhale from head first. You're going to start to flex forward to reach the hands towards the pedal. From there, she's in her cat back shape. You're going to deepen the abdominals, drawing the ribs towards the hips to pull yourself up from the abs. And as you press down on your exhale, inhale to lift yourself all the way back up in that cat back position. You're going to keep going. Inhaling as you lift yourself up, you're going to think of deepening the abdominal connection, sliding the ribs towards the hips. As the pedal goes down, you're trying to use the abdominals to push the pedal down versus just leaning into the front of the chair. As she continues, she's really working those glutes and hamstrings to draw the back of the pelvis under, especially as she lifts herself back up. One last time, deepen the abdominals as you press the pedal down and draw the pedal up in that cat back shape. Spin your pelvis underneath you, feeling the back of the pelvis come towards the back of the knees and return to vertical. Excellent. Come off of there, we're going to go right into reverse swan. We're going to keep the same spring tension. She's going to reach out through the legs. So lots of quads, lots of legs working here. Reach the hands back towards the pedal. Heels of the hands are touching the pedal. She's going to round back through the lower back so she's slightly flexed through the lower spine and lengthen through the upper spine. It's like a teaser position to start. As she rounds back, she's opening through the front of the hips, thinking of sliding the ribs towards the pelvis as you draw yourself up. Rounding the waist of the pants back towards the mat behind you and drawing yourself up. As you continue, keep those legs working so you don't get lower. Think of reaching out along the horizontal. It'll help you create more length and more connection through the torso. Let's do one more, Melissa. Rounding back, feeling the back of the pelvis supported by the back of the legs. As you draw yourself up, it's all abdominals coming all the way back up. You can bend your legs and rest. Excellent. That's really challenging. Good job. We're going to switch sides. You're going to come around to the other side. Little do-si-do there. We're going to go into our pull-up exercise. We're going to use 2 heavy springs on the top, 1 light spring on the bottom. You're going to place your hands on top of the chair. Press the pedal down 1 foot at a time. From here, rotate the legs turned out. Feel that wrapping again through the back of the legs. Hands come to the front of the chair, wrapping through the fingers around the edge. Shift your body weight forward and flex fully through your spine. As you exhale, draw the pedal up. As you inhale, shorten the distance between ribs and hips to lower the pedal towards the floor without resting on the floor. Each time you're trying to deepen the abdominal connection in both directions. It's very tempting to just let the abs turn off and ride those heavy springs down. But what you want to make sure you're doing is continuing to use the abdominals to control the lower. Beautiful work here. Keep going, rounding through the spine and deepening as you go back down. One more time. Even curve through the whole spine, trying to encourage more flexion, more rounding of the low spine. As you come all the way down this time, you can rest at the bottom. Keep the hands where they are. Rotate the legs to parallel. We're going to go right into our forward lunge. 1 foot comes up on top of the chair. For safety, 1 hand at a time, let's come to the thigh and then slowly bring 1 hand at a time to the back of the head. There's a lot of balance and control required here. We're watching that the knee is tracking right over the 2nd, 3rd toe, that the hips are level and there's no rotation. She looks great. Pressing down through the back of the legs. Exhale to draw the pedal up. As you lower with control, use those glutes almost like an elevator, lowering you with control. Exhaling to press yourself up. As you're coming back down, you're making sure that the leg doesn't wobble in and out. It's staying really stable, tracking right over the knee. Beautiful. Keeping the ribs connected, making sure to not go into any extension of the spine. And this time come all the way back down to the floor. one hand at a time to the thigh, and then back to the top of the chair. Switching legs, making sure to keep your hands on top of the chair as you switch. And hands to the thigh. Then once you have your stability, that glute connection, that wrapping of the abs, hands one at a time to the back of the head, ribs connected, abs are working, driving the pedal, the glute and hamstring is driving the pedal up, and then controlling that lowering back down. 2 more, exhaling to press yourself up, keeping the ribs connected as you inhale and lower back down with control. Beautiful. This is a really functional exercise. It's going to help with the tracking of the leg for everyday life, like stepping up and down stairs, getting up from a chair, all of those kind of daily activities we need this strength for. Excellent. You can stay down at the bottom once you get there. Hands come to the thigh, and then hands back to the top of the chair. Keep your hands on here until the pedal comes all the way up so it doesn't turn into a giant catapult. Good. Come off of there. Let's roll around to the other side. And we're gonna go into Swan Front. We're just gonna take one of the red springs off. So we have one heavy spring on the top, one light spring on the bottom. Come to laying on your stomach. Hips are gonna be right at the edge of the chair. Press the pedal down. You're going for one long line. So the pedal may not touch the floor depending on your arm length. From here, she's reaching out through the legs. Glutes and hamstrings are working to hold the height of the leg. You're wrapping the back of the glutes in towards each other, so there's a stability coming from the glutes for the sacrum and the lower back. She's in one long line. You're making sure your abdominals are working so your low back doesn't sink. Will you show that what that looks like? This wouldn't be so good for your back. So you're keeping those abs, wrapping the ribs up and around. From here, she's going to start to inhale, send her heart forward, open across the collarbone to lift up into that long extension, reaching the feet away from her as she lowers down with control, drawing the shoulder blades, collarbones open, keeping the abdominals working as she lowers down, making sure the abs draw the ribs towards the pelvis so you're not just letting gravity sag the lower back down. Beautiful. As you lengthen back down, each time reaching the toes away from the crown of the head. One last time, opening across the collarbone. Those back extensors are working to stabilize and lift. And then they're lengthening as you lower back down with control. Beautiful. You can slide off the back of the chair and come up from there. That was excellent. Thank you so much, Melissa. You guys can continue your Pilates practice at home at pilatesanytime.com. Thanks for watching.